Hey, One Piece fans, this is Chris Bolts coming in with an episode recap and review of episode 1130, A History Erased, God Valley of Despair. Now, this particular episode, we got a really good, more fleshing out of the character Batholomew Kuma and why he is so important in the One Piece lore and mythos. But before I get into the content, do make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. And if you watch this video all the way to the end, I really appreciate that because all of that really helps me out and with the algorithm. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right off into it. Now, before we actually go ahead and get into the meat of the video, we have to go back because this episode actually starts off with us looking at how life was experienced through the eyes of Batholomew Kuma. In this first episode right here, or the first vision right here, we see that Kuma fell down and he's looking at his parents at a more joyful time with his mama and his daddy proudly smiling at him after he had fell down and he said that everything was okay. And then we go forward again, we see at the despair of his father as he's asking and begging, pleading with the Marines to not arrest his wife and his child, that he is the only one with Buccaneer blood. But we obviously know from the prior episode that fell upon deaf ears. They took him all into slavery and put him into captivity. And then here we go right here. This is when Kuma first hears from his father for the first time that his mother is more than likely dead. I still am of the belief and hope that she is not, but at this point in time, from Kuma's eyes, they both think that she is currently dead. And right here, his father is telling Kuma that he needs to endure, he needs to survive, to live. And then right here, this is the last sight that he sees of his father before he suffers his ignominious end at the hand of those piece of shit. I really hate those Celestials. The Celestials are absolute bastards. I really hate them. But now we go ahead and go forward, and this is now on God Valley, and we see we're now at the current time, at least for Kuma when he's a child. Now that we're talking about the triangle event that's going to be taking place on the island of God Valley, and for the most part, this is just going to be a complete and utter slaughter. We got these piece of shit Celestials that are running around, basically wantonly killing human beings for sport. And we have this bastard right here saying that we have some fine prizes for the champion who actually goes in there and kills the most. A lot of the characters right here, there's Saint Saturn sitting up there with two Navy men standing next to him. I wonder if he was a Godosei at that point in time and everything like that, because this guy is ancient. We don't know how old he really is or anything like that, but we obviously have two regular Navy men standing next to him. But we know in the last episode that the vice admiral got on the loudspeaker and told anyone who was not a rear admiral, a vice admiral, or an admiral proper that they are not to look upon Saint Saturn. So I wonder if at this point right here, if he's a Godosei already. But that's for another time and everything like that. Down here, we have that same guy saying that, admonishing and chastising one of the other Celestials that had started killing so many humans off. He told them, not so fast, follow the rules and everything. And here we have more people just running, escaping for their lives. And there are 200 world noble hunters that are on the island right there. And right here, we see all the prizes behind this Celestial. This is now at the Navy headquarters. I don't know who this guy is right here, but he's talking to a young Vice Admiral Garp. And of course, Garp is wanting to chill with the ladies and all that, and on Pirate Island just chilling. And of course, that's when that guy that's on the other side of that snail tells him, hey, one of the guys that's going to be there is Goldie Roger is going to be one of the guys that's there. And then of course, that's when Garp was like, what the hell? You say that part first. Say that part first, because Garp and Goldie Roger at this point in time are I don't know if you can. Are they mortal enemies? Can you be mortal enemies but friends at the same time? Because we obviously know that there's quite a bit of history between those two characters, Garp and Goldie Roger. They both have Monkey D. Garp and Goldie Roger. They're both from the island. They have inherited the will of D, which eventually Eiichiro Oda will have to get to us and explain to us what the meaning of the D is. There's all kinds of theories about what D means. I think we're getting to that part soon here. But anyway, Monkey D. Garp says, "Hey, you should have led with that first. We need to get to that island. Now we need to get there as soon as possible." This is I really have trouble saying his name. Emperor Ivankov is basically telling him, "Hey, the entire island is surrounded by the Navy. No one can get off the island, so the only way we can get off the island is not to play the game." And he's got all of his compatriots that were able to come with him. There's obviously Kuma right there, and he's telling them that the plan that he has is that they need to get to the prizes. And this guy is telling them that we were supposed to be, if we were survive for 3 weeks, we'll be free. But Ivankov busts that and says, "No, that's a false hope. They give you hope because they want you to run for your lives. Instead, if you're in despair, you won't play the game. They want you to play the game." And Ivankov says, "No, we need to stop playing this damn shitty game. We need to get up out of it. We need to stop playing it." Here we got Saint Garling. He's already a saint, so I'm pretty. That means that means Saturn, by the way. Going back earlier, he's a saint as well. But was he a Gorosei at that point in time? Don't know. Saint Garling is already going on the killing spree. Ivankov right here compliments the fishman for breaking him out of the chains. And here's Jenny. She's been putting out some information about the prizes. Now, two of the prizes that are mentioned here. One of the fruit is the mythical zone fruit, the dragon fruit, and we obviously know that Kaido eats that fruit. But the other fruit that is also mentioned is the pawpaw fruit, is the other fruit. That's the entire plan right here. Ivankov's plan is that if one of us can eat either or both of those fruit, it will help get people off the island and help them escape. Jenny has been feeding all kinds of information to basically confuse people and also to invite the pirates. And that's what we get right here. The Rocks pirates have shown up. And so we're going to have them on the island right here. And we're getting introduced to all these pirates at this point in time. There's Stussy sitting on the shoulder of Whitebeard, Edward Dewgate. Here's Gloriana. She's got that snake, which I'm assuming that she has some type of relation to Boa Hancock, because that same snake sits with Boa Hancock now. And then we also have right here Big Mom, who's going by Ling Ling at the time, because she's not Big Mom yet. Man, she was smoking when she was a lot younger, wasn't she? She was smoking. And then there's Kaido before he's eaten the fruit. And then we get the full take of all the pirates right here. Here's all the other pirates right here that are there as well. I forgot this guy right here. He was in one of the movies. He's got swords for legs now, and I forgot who this guy is right here. But I don't think Rox D. Zebek is in this picture or anything like that. And obviously, there's a little bit of a clash between Edward Dewgate and Rox. Edward Dewgate is a hothead. So why are you up here trying to tell me what to do and everything? But they all serve under Rox D. Zebek. That should tell you the amount of power that Rox D. Zebek has, that he has all these people serving underneath him. And then, of course, at the same time, we got the other pirates that are coming through. The Roger pirates, Goldie Roger. There's a young Rayleigh. There's Goldie Roger right there with the straw hat. And I don't know who this guy is over here or anything like that, but you know that this is going to be a powder keg, because not only do you have the Rocks pirates there, you got the Roger pirates there, you got the Celestials there, you got the Navy there, you got the Saints there. So this is just a conflagration that's getting ready just to go off. So the Navy obviously recognizes that. And here we get to the spot where Ivankov and Kuma have gotten to the treasure and everything, that they both have the mythical zone fruit, the dragon fruit and the paw fruit. Unfortunately, Ivankov does not eat that particular fruit because Ling has busted in and stopped them eating that fruit. At least she stopped Ivankov from eating the fruit, but she was not able to stop Kuma in time, which is great because we all want Kuma to have his power. He gets the paw fruit as he's escaping after he's eaten the fruit. He's stopped by Saturn, and Saturn has so much hatred in his heart for what's going on here. There's the Buccaneer boy, and your lot in life is to be a slave and die. And of course, Kuma right here, it has been decided by the course of history, he says, which is some stupid logic and everything, but there are people who believe that. And Kuma says, "Are you important, mister? It's strange that some people are born to be important. There is no point in being born if you're a slave from birth. No, there's always a point to being born, even if you are a slave. If I've got some kind of power, just like Nika, I want to save as many of those poor people as possible." And then, of course, here comes Saturn and says, "That is why your people need to be eliminated." And he says that because Saturn has a rigid view of the world. There's a hierarchy and there's order. We don't need chaos. You need to follow us because we know what's best for you. And we don't need anyone that goes out and says, we're going to help everybody else so that they can live their lives as they see fit. The power goes off and you don't see him doing it or anything like that. We know that Kuma is working to save people, save as many people as possible. Ivankov has been saved, Jenny has been saved, and here's Kuma when I think that there are still lives I could have saved. Now, for all the Christians out there, this is a very pro-Christian episode. Kuma is, even though Kuma goes off to become a revolutionary, everything like that, he stays true to his faith. He stays true to his principles and his religious principles. I think this is again why Eiichiro Oda is such a wonderful storyteller, because he takes real world themes and real world issues and folds them into his world without being preachy. By the way, Oda did LGBT better than what most Western LGBT people have done. You notice how the Christian Kuma is very friendly with the obviously homosexual Ivankov. And they find common cause of common ground and wanting to get away from the Celestials and wanting to end slavery. They put aside their differences in philosophy to take on an overarching philosophy that is crushing both. And so that's why Oda is such a wonderful storyteller, because he doesn't tell you what to think or anything like that. He creates these characters so that you can relate to the characters. I am not pro-LGBT, but I can relate with Ivankov and his struggle. And many people who are LGBT are not Christian, but they can relate with Kuma and his struggle. We all can see the pain and anguish that he has gone through to get to this point to where he is, but he stays true to his faith even though he had struggled, because his father told him to endure and survive. Endure and survive. Do not make excuses for what you're going through, and do not let what you're going through destroy you as a man. And that's what this young Ivankov, who's only 9 years old, or rather young Kuma, who's only 9 years old. Can you guys imagine being a 9-year-old kid enduring this kind of trauma? Man, I tell you, Oda is such a damn good story. I can't wait for this to be put in live action. I think this is going to be such a really good thing for everyone to witness. And it's unfortunate that there's so many damn episodes of One Piece that you got to go through a whole bunch to get to these points like this. But I digress on that point there. And Ivankov even recognizes, hey, now I understand where you get the strength of your values and everything. And it says it right here. So your family ran a church. Now I know why you are the way you are. Ivankov he separates from Jenny and from Kuma. He goes off on his separate ways. They stay on the island to live. And of course, these two kids are going to bully Kuma, but Jenny stands up to him. See right there, he says he's only 9 years old. He apologizes to these two kids. He says Jenny's actually very nice. We already see that Kuma already has mastery of his powers. I'm going to say something here about all the bandages, because what he can do right here, he's going to take their pain away, right? And the pain is gone. But obviously the pain is still floating there. That leads me to believe that something right here, because notice he's got all these bandages. Jenny doesn't have bandages on her. Ivankov doesn't have bandages on him. These kids don't have bandages on after that. But the pain that he extracts from them, it has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. It just can't sit out there floating about or anything. I think what Kuma has been doing, even at 9 years old, is that he was absorbing the pain within himself, because he realizes he has the body to be able to handle all that pain that all these people are going through. And that's why he is constantly bandaged up. I mean, my goodness. My goodness, this is just fascinating right here. So he's been taking in all that pain and holding it within himself and not letting others suffer that. That pawpaw fruit is along with his, I won't say that he's a Christian, but obviously that's what the relation there is with the religion that he follows. But I'll just say his religious upbringing has completed him as an individual there. That power can't be held by anybody but Kuma. And a lot of this right here now, you see that Jenny loves to eat. She loves to eat. She loves to eat. Since you eat so much, we need to work a lot. And she's looking out this window, and she's starting to understand and realize all the pain that she had gone through. And that makes Kuma remember all the pain that he's gone through. And they both realize that they endured so much. He endured so much, and finally he just lets it all go. He just lets it all go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start tearing up or anything, but he lets it all go. That's so much for a 9-year-old to endure. That's so much for a 9-year-old to endure. He finally lets it go. And by the way, this is probably foreshadowing, but you notice how she has pink hair. She's got the freckles on her face, and she loves to eat. It's obvious that this is Jewelry Bonnie's mama. We don't know why she's not with Jewelry Bonnie right now or anything like that, but we know that Kuma becomes Jewelry Bonnie's adoptive father. So we pretty much got that entire background right there, and that was the episode. I didn't mean to go in there and start cracking up or anything like that, and so we're gonna go ahead and end with that. Get over here to the next episode right here. And so they're still getting ready to go ahead and fight, and this against this rogue nation right here. It's on the next episode 1131, a fleeting moment of happiness, Kumachi and Jenny. I apologize for tearing up right there, man. I tell you, I just couldn't hold it in, because it's just a 9-year-old has endured all of that pain and all that anguish. When most men, several times of his age, would crack under all the pressure. And in fact, they even allude to that within the episodes. There's so many adults that couldn't handle that. I forgot to mention that Kuma volunteered to be person to attract all the attention of the Celestials, because he didn't want any more people to get killed. You know, he wanted to put himself up as a shield, because he says, I have the body to endure all this, so let me go ahead and use it for that. This episode was very emotional, obviously. It's very emotional and had some key emotional moments. We got a more fleshing out of Kuma, how he got his paw fruit powers and how he immediately mastered those powers for good. 9 out of 10. I really like this episode. And you know, that's what I give it. I'll just leave it at that. What did you guys think of this episode? Did you guys tear up when you like me, or were you more stronger than I was? Jump down in the comments and let me know what you guys thought. And remember to like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. And if you watch this video all the way towards the end, I really do appreciate your support once again. And remember, this is Chris Boltz signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video. You guys take it easy.